So I want to talk about something. I want to share what I've been thinking about and what I've been kind of processing myself, and hoping that it can kind of help someone in their own processing journey. But I've been thinking about my life, and I've been thinking, I haven't been this person, the person that you see me today. This has not been me throughout my whole life. I've only managed to come into a better process of having to manage my emotions, how to motivate myself, learning how to express myself a bit more effectively. These are the things that I didn't know how to do prior to a few years ago. This was my own personal journey. And it becomes really frustrating because people will see me and they will say, oh yeah, she's got it all together. And no, I don't have it all together. I'm learning how to get myself together. And for the process of learning how to get myself together, I'm sharing my process to help to encourage other people of how to get themselves together. We're always on a journey. This journey is never ending. But I was thinking, because I really get triggered, or not triggered, I really get irritated when I see particular things expressed. And I had to ask myself, why do I get so irritated with these particular things? And I realized it's because I'm irritated at the reflection of who I used to be. I'm irritated at seeing some of the victim mentalities being expressed because I did not know how to not be a victim. That's the thing that I used to speak about the most. The only thing I really knew how to speak about was my pain, and some people misunderstood how I was expressing my pain at the time, and understandably why, as I get older and I start to learn how to process things a bit better, and I get irritated when people display these same characteristics. But it's having to notice, okay, this was once you. These are the things that you used to do, and you went through a journey, and these are the things that you're still learning how to process and learn how to manage. I mean, my story prior to now, my whole life has been quite a painful, sad story, justifiably. But that's all I knew how to speak about. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know what I could be. I didn't know my potential. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing here, which is why I actually had struggled so much with suicidal thoughts and tendencies, because I was like, why the hell am I here? These are some of the things that I had to personally struggle with. And then I realized what my issue was. I was so hell stuck on the past, and I didn't know how to come into my present and understand that in my present, I can influence the future, which is what I really wanted. I wanted my future to be influenced. I wanted my future to have a different trajectory to the one that I was currently on. I would actually tell my story. I'd be repeating the same thing over and over again. This happened to me and it created this, okay? But then I became so well at repeating that script, I didn't actually realize I was in a script that I was continuing to reel off and allow to keep playing out in my life. And I had to really learn how to take accountability for that, because I was my own blockage and I was blaming everyone else around me. Only now I'm really sitting down in hindsight, and I was like, wow, I was telling my story that way because I really wanted sympathy. I wanted sympathy for my story because nobody ever showed me sympathy. Even the people that had hurt me at home, all that kind of stuff. Nobody had sympathy for me. So I needed to find that type of sympathy elsewhere. And then it got to a point where I realized, number one, you're not going to get the sympathy that you want. But number two, what is this sympathy actually going to do for you? Because what do you want? You want change. Sympathy is not going to do anything for you. So stop expecting people to give you this. And it's at that moment that my life changed, because I realized I had to do something different to what I... And this is why I have the drive that I have, because I realized how long I wasn't using my actual drive, my own personal momentum to bring me into different experiences and out of the ones that I didn't want to experience anymore. That's why I'm so hard on myself, because I realized how easy it is to stay stuck in a stubborn place, you know, and it just made me be more honest with myself, like genuinely. Like I had to tell myself, like I really had to have some really harsh conversations with myself. And for me to be able to talk about some of the stuff that I talk about, the way that I'm able to talk about, it's not just from a place of projection. Not that I can just identify all these things around me. It's that I've had to identify these same things within myself first, and then deal and process that. And then that's what actually creates the irritation within me now. That doesn't mean to say that I'm perfect. That means to say that I'm going through a process still. I'm still going through my process. But I think it's important to just be honest with yourself when it comes to your own personal journey, because there's a lot of the times that we like to hold ourselves in denial. And when it comes to truth, that's something you cannot hold yourself in denial about, because truth is truth. You can deny yourself of the truth, and you're the person who's having to be, you know, having to take the consequences of that. What does that do for you? Nothing good. It just creates... That's what gave me drive. When I was ill almost 10 years ago, when I was literally living in a hospital, you might as well say that, you know, in a wheelchair, all that kind of stuff. I remember when the doctors was like, you're going to have to accept the fact that you are permanently disabled, you're terminally disabled, you're going to have to accept this reality. And I said no, because I've already planned that I'm going to university in Birmingham. I've already planned that I see myself doing all of these things that didn't seem possible at the time because of my health and because of the things that was playing out. But I was not going to accept the reality that someone was trying to project to me, because I had seen myself in my own dreams doing something completely different. Confused everyone around me, everyone, because it was like, oh my gosh, how are you able to get back your but even now, like the fact that I'm able to work out and stuff, like I've not been able to do this in almost 10 years. And it's due to my own determination of just saying no. I refuse to accept this reality for myself. And because I have that type of attitude, that's what's allowed me to transform myself through so many different circumstances, so many different crises, because I don't take no for an answer. I allow myself to be flexible enough to go through change as it needs to. And so I find it quite amazing at the fact that, some people may be confused by my fire and how I express my fire. And it's because it comes from a very, very real place, Like, I'm not trying to tread on anyone's toes or anything. But I've had to really learn how to be very honest with myself. And with learning how to be very honest with myself, I've learned how to be very honest with people, which is why I'm able to do the work that I do. It's not just a title that I just paste on my head. It's a gift, it's a skill that I've been able to develop within my own personal experiences because of my own personal journey and what I do. And this doesn't put me on a higher pedestal than anyone else. I'm just trying to share my journey of how I got to where I am. But yeah, people may not understand. Yeah, some people haven't seen your journey. They will be completely confused by your file. Like, why have you got this file? Why do you express yourself this way? It has a roots. It has a journey. And I'm learning how to express that journey. It's just a very complicated and complex journey to explain because there's so many different layers and, you know, so many different narratives in one that it just becomes really confusing and crazy to explain sometimes. But yeah, there's roots there. Like, don't just look at people and just think, oh yeah, they just got it all together and that's how they became how they are. No, there was a journey to how they became who they are. You know, and I'm just trying to share that in the most authentic way possible for myself. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share.